Alright, in the last lecture we looked at maxima and minima, but there were no constraints to the functions, right? Now we want to look at maxima and minima when there are certain constraints associated with the function itself. So in this, when there are constraints, there is a very powerful method which is basically known as the Lagrange multipliers method, and using this method we can very easily determine what is the maxima and minima and whether a function has a maxima or a minima. Okay, so this method is what we will learn today. This method is very useful for statistical mechanics especially. So in statistical mechanics, which you will learn in 2 semesters from now, you will see that Lagrange multipliers is used often because there are certain functions and you have to get its maximum or minimum value, but there are certain constraints associated with those functions, and that is when you use this method. Alright, so let's begin. So let's first look at an example. Okay, so in our example, let's say we want to minimize a distance d from origin to a point xy given that y is equal to 1 minus x square. So let's represent this graphically. What do we mean by this question? So let's say, first let us draw this y equal to 1 minus x square. So how will we draw it? We have the x and y axis, right? So this is your y equal to 1 minus, it's an inverted parabola. These two sides need to be equal, so let me just try to draw it again. Okay. So this is our x-axis, this is our y-axis. Alright. Okay. So this is your point. So when x is 0, right? When x is 0, then y is going to be 1. So this point is your 0, 1, right? And when y is 0, then x is going to be either plus 1 or minus 1. So this is your point 1, 0, and this point is your minus 1, 0. Alright, so this is your graph. Now what we want to do is we want to find a distance d. Right, so what will the distance d? So distance d represents the distance between 0 and some point on this line, on this curve. So let's assume this is our distance d and this is point A is called x, y. The coordinates of point A are x and y. So this distance is our distance d. Okay. So this is what we want to find. So let's first write down what is distance d. Okay. So d is equal to root of x minus 0 whole square plus y minus 0 whole square, right? Of course, if the d was not from the origin, it was say from 2 to, then you would have to change these. You will have to change these values, right? If it was not from the origin but from a certain coordinate. Okay. Alright. So we have to minimize this. So dealing with square root is generally difficult. So what we'll do is we will try to minimize d square. If we minimize d square, then obviously we are going to minimize d as well. So d square is what? X square plus y square. Okay, so we will minimize this. Now we minimize this with the constraint that y equals 1 minus x square. Okay, so now we have mathematically represented our problem. Okay, so this is our function. So this d square represents our function and this represents our constraint. Alright. So we will do this. Of course, we will deal with this using Lagrange multipliers, but before that we will see two other methods for which we do not need the Lagrange multiplier. So there are different methods of doing it. Lagrange multipliers is definitely the easiest when you have a complicated function. But since this is not such a complicated function, this can be done easily by other methods as well. Alright, so let's look at method 1. Okay. So method 1 is called elimination. So let's see what we mean by this. So let's call our function f, which is basically nothing but d square, as x square plus y square. Okay. And our constraint was y is equal to 1 minus x square. Okay. So what we can do is we can just substitute this value of y that we have into this equation. Okay. So we'll get f is equal to x square plus 1 minus x square whole square. Okay. So you're going to have x square plus 1 plus x power 4 minus 2x square, which is x power 4 minus x square plus 1. Okay. So this is going to be your f. Alright. Okay. So if this is your f, now all we have to do is minimize this f. Okay. So in order to minimize this, what minimize or maximize, right? Minimize, yeah, we have to minimize, right? We have to find the smallest value that d can take. So we have to minimize this f. So the first thing we do is we do df by dx equals 0, right? So what are we going to get? We are going to get 4x cube minus 2x, right, equal to 0. 2x square minus 1, 0. So we get x, either x is 0 or we have x is equal to plus or minus 1 by root 2. So these are the values for x. So if x is 0, then y is 1 minus x square, so y will be 1. And here y will be 1 minus half, so it will be half. Okay. So these are your values. Now in order for this function f, right, in order for the function f to be a minimum, f to be a minimum, what we need to do, we also need to show what? We need to show this we have already studied, right? That d square f by dx square has to be greater than 0. Right? So let's find out what is the value of d square f by dx square. So d square f by dx square, right, is d by dx of, what is our df by dx? So this is nothing but df by dx, which is equal to d by dx of, what is our df by dx? I have forgotten. It is 4x cube minus 2x. Alright. So we have 4x cube minus 2x. So this is going to be 12x square minus 2. Okay, so this is your d square f by dx square. Okay. So d square f by dx square is 12 x square minus 2. Okay. So this at x equal to 0 is going to give you minus 2 this is less than 0, and this at x equal to 1 by root 2 is going to give you 12 by 2 minus 2, 4, right, which is greater than 0. This is also the value that you will have for x equal to minus 1 by root 2. This will also give you 4. So this is the point so essentially this is the point which says that f will be minimum. So what is the point at which f will be minimum? The point at which f is minimum is x equal to minus 1 by root 2 or x equal to minus or x equal to plus 1 by root 2. Okay. Alright. So x and y points are 1 by root 2 half and minus 1 by root 2 half. Right. So for both these points, the d, right, the distance between the origin up to the curve will be the minimum value. Okay, so this is what your answer is. So this is called the method of elimination. Why? Because we used the condition that y is equal to 1 minus x square and we eliminated y from the equation. So instead of y, we put the condition, right, instead of y over here. So there was x square plus y square, but instead of y we wrote y in terms of x, and so we eliminated y, and so the function f became a function only of x. So that is the method of elimination. Alright, let's look at another method which will use differentiation. Okay, now we are all comfortable with differentiation, so let's look at method 2. This is implicit differentiation. Okay, so in this method again the question is that we minimize f, which is given by x square plus y square, given y equals 1 minus x square. Okay, so if we have this f, then let's look at df, which is going to be 2x dx plus 2y dy. Okay, and from here we are going to get dy is equal to minus 2x dx. Okay, alright. So now instead of dy we can substitute this value, right? So we have df is equal to 2x dx minus 4xy dx. Alright. So this is nothing but 2x minus 4xy into dx. Okay. Now for minimum or maximum, right, we will have df by dx has to be set to 0. Okay. So we already have our df by dx, right? So df by dx is 2x minus 4xy. So we can just set this to 0. And this gives us a condition for y. So this is one equation, And then we already have another equation, which is y is equal to 1 minus x square. Okay. So from here we can get 2x as common, 1 minus 2y is 0. So we'll either get x equal to 0 or y is equal to half. Right? So from this and now from this equation we can substitute these values here. So if x is 0, then from this equation we will get y is 1, and then here we have y half. So if y is half, then again use this equation. So half is equal to 1 minus x square. So x square is equal to 1 minus half, which is half. So x will be plus or minus 1 by root 2. So you essentially get the same equation, same numbers, right? So obviously, right, because the problem is the same, so you have to get the same answer no matter which method you use. Alright, so these are your values. Okay, so now you can carry out. So after you find this, you can find d square f by dx square, and then, so these are the next steps, right? This we already know. So what we have to do, we have to find d square f by dx square and then determine if that point gives maxima or minima. Right? That is what we have to do. Alright, so this is our second method, which is the method of implicit differentiation. So let's do it itself. So even this we can find. We can find what is d square f by dx square. So we have df by dx was 2x plus 2y dy by dx. Let's start from the beginning. So this is 2x dx plus 2y dy, right? So df by dx is going to be 2x plus 2y dy by dx. Okay. Now we already know what dy by dx is, right? So first of all, d square f by dx square will then be 2 plus, so now we have to, so let's write this fully. So df by dx is nothing but 2x plus 2y dy by dx. Now in order to find out d square f by dx square, we have to do this differentiation of this again. So we'll get 2 for this part, and for this part now this is, we have to use, there are two functions, right? So we'll have to do it one by one. So we'll get first differentiating this function, you'll get 2 into 1 into dy by dx plus, now let's differentiate this function and not this function. So we'll get 2y into d square y by dx square. So here, sorry, there was a mistake. So when you differentiate y with respect to x, you are supposed to get dy by dx, right? And then there was already a dy by dx here. So you are going to get 2 plus 2 dy by dx whole square plus 2y d square y by dx square. So this is your d square f by dx square. Okay. Alright. Now we already know what dy by dx is, right? What is dy by dx? It is minus 2x is dy by dx. So d square y by dx square is going to be minus 2. Alright, so we can now substitute all of this into our equations. Alright, so we'll get d square f by dx square is equal to 2 plus 2 into minus 2x whole square minus 4y, right, which will give us 2 plus 8x square minus 4y. Okay, so now we can substitute. At x equal to 0, we have y is 1 minus x square, which is 1. So at this point, d square f by dx square will be 2 minus 4, which is minus 2. So this will be less than 0, which means this is your maxima. Okay, and at x equal to plus or minus 1 by root 2, you will have y equal to so y will be half, right? So if y is half, then you can substitute for d square f by dx square. You will get 2 plus 8 by 2 minus 4 by 2. So you'll get 4, which is greater than 0. So this will be minima. So the point for minima will be 1 by root 2 half and minus 1 by root 2 half, right? So we get the same answer. Alright. So when will this method be applied? So the implicit differentiation method So this implicit differentiation method can be applied when you can't solve for y in terms of x. Okay. If you can solve for y in terms of x, you can use the elimination method. But in case you are not able to solve for y in terms of x, then what you can do is you can go for implicit differentiation. Okay, we have still not looked at the Lagrange multiplier, so let's look at that now. Okay. So let's look at method 3. Okay. So in general, so what is method 3? Method 3 is Lagrange multipliers. So in general, we want to find maxima or minima of f of x comma y given some constraint. So the constraint is represented as an equation. Given some equation, phi of x comma y is a constant. Okay. So this is our function that we want to minimize or maximize, and this is our constraint. Okay. So this is our constraint and this is our function. Alright. So to find maxima or minima, the the first step that we do is to set df by dx equal to 0, which essentially means that we are doing df is equal to 0, right? Okay, and since phi equals some constant, this is our constraint, right? Since this is our equation, so phi equal to constant, then we will get d phi will also be equal to 0, right? Because differentiation of a constant is obviously 0. So now let's write what is df and what is d phi. So f is a function of x and y, and we have said that df is equal to 0. So this will give us df is equal to dou f by dou x into dx plus dou f by dou y into dy equal to 0. Right. So, and then another equation that we have is, we have phi of x comma y is a constant c, and we have d phi is 0. So we are going to have d phi is nothing but dou phi by dou x into dx plus dou phi by dou y into dy is 0. Okay. Now what we have to do, we have to just combine these two. So now we just combine df and d phi. Okay, we just combine these two. So we can combine it using some linear multiplication in terms of lambda. So we can do df plus lambda into d phi is 0, and lambda is a constant. Okay, lambda is a constant. Alright, so if this is our equation, now we can write the complete equation. So the complete equation would be dou f by dou x into dx plus lambda dou phi by dou x into dx, right, plus dou f by dou y into dy plus lambda dou phi by dou y into dy is 0. Alright. So let's simplify this or just take the common factors. So we have dou f by dou x plus lambda dou phi by dou x into dx plus dou f by dou y plus lambda dou phi by dou y into dy is 0. Alright. We now pick lambda such that, so let's pick lambda such that lambda is nothing but minus dou f by dou y by dou phi by dou y. Okay, so if lambda is this value, then this term will become 0. If lambda is this, then this term will become 0 because of this lambda. Okay, so if that is the case, if that term becomes 0, then this term will also be 0, right? So we'll have, so picking such a lambda implies dou f by dou x plus lambda into dou phi by dou x equals 0. Okay, this is what we get. Okay, so now we have 3 equations. Alright, so now we use 3 equations to solve for 3 variables. What are the 3 variables? The 3 variables are x, y and lambda. Okay. So what are the 3 equations? The equations are dou f by dou x plus lambda dou phi by dou x is 0. Dou f by dou y plus lambda into dou phi by dou y is 0. And the third equation is phi of x comma y is constant. So this is our third equation. So using these three equations, we can solve for x, y and lambda, right? We have three variables, so we need three equations to solve for the variables. So these are the three equations. So once we solve these equations, then we follow the same procedure in the sense that we look at whether df by dx is df by dx is 0, then whether d square f by dx square is 0 and d square f by dy square is 0 and all of that. Okay. So generally this equation, right, you can assume, you can also combine this equation. Combine f of x comma y is equal to small f of x comma y plus lambda phi of x comma y. So you can do this. If you do it this way, then you will have three equations which will be represented by dou capital F by dou x is 0, dou capital F by dou y is 0, and the third one is phi is constant. Okay, so you will have these three equations. Now let's go back to our example and see how we can do it. So for our example, f was x square plus y square and phi and what was the equation that we had? We had the equation, so the constraint was y is 1 minus x square. So let us write it in terms of function of x and y. So we can take x to the other side. Y plus x square is 1. So essentially we can write phi of x comma y is 1, where phi of x comma y is given by x square plus y. Okay, so this is going to be 1. Alright, so let's look at, so now we need to solve for three equations. So capital F of x comma y is f of x comma y plus lambda phi of x comma y. So this is going to give us x square plus y square plus lambda into x square plus y. Okay, so this is our f of x comma y. So what are the three equations? The first equation is dou f by dou x is 0. So this will give us 2x plus 2 lambda x is 0. Second equation is dou f by dou y is 0. So we'll get 2y plus lambda is 0. And then third equation is phi is constant, which means x square plus y is 1. Okay, so now we have these three equations. So let's try to solve them. Okay. From this equation we can get either x is 0 or lambda equals minus 1. Alright. From this equation we can get lambda equals minus 2y. Okay. Alright. Okay. And then from here we have y is equal to 1 minus x square anyway. Okay. So if x is 0, then we can substitute y is equal to 1 minus x square, which will give us y is equal to 1. And if because y is 1 and we have y is equal to minus lambda by 2 from this equation, so we can get lambda is equal to minus 2y, which is minus 2. Okay, so this is your lambda. Okay, so we have x equal to 0 y is equal to 1, lambda equal to minus 2. This is one set of values. Then the other set of values was, here we had lambda equal to minus 1. So if lambda is minus 1, then y is equal to minus lambda by 2, which is 1 by 2, and then x is going to be, and x is x square is 1 minus y, which is half. So x will be plus or minus 1 by root 2. Okay, so these are the two values. So you've got the two values now, right? So x is either, so the points are x is 0, y is 1, or x is plus or minus 1 by root 2, y is half. So now for these points you can carry out the same method wherein you have df by dx. You have to find df by dx and see that it is 0. Then you have to find dou square f by dou x square, dou square f by dou y square, and all of that, and find the and maximum. Okay, so this is your Lagrange multiplier method, right? So let me just, to reiterate, let me write down. So testing follows the exact same process. Okay, nothing new. Okay, that is, we have to do df by dx is 0, df by dy is 0, and then check for d square f by dx square, d square f by dy square, and d square f by dx square compared to d square f by dx dy. So in a similar manner you can follow everything. Alright. So homework problem is problem 1. An aquarium with rectangular sides and bottom and no top is to hold 5 liter. Okay, so 5 liter of water. Okay, find its proportions. What do I mean by proportions? I mean the length, breadth and height. LBH. So find its proportions, length, breadth, height, so that it will use the least amount of material. Okay, so of course the aquarium has to be built of something, maybe glass or something. So you have to find the length, breadth and height so that the material, which is the glass, will be the least. So you'll have to use the least amount of the material. Okay, this is your first problem. And the second problem is find the volume of the largest rectangular parallelepiped, which means essentially a box. So find the volume of the largest box with edges parallel to the axis inscribed in ellipsoid. Okay. So what is the equation of the ellipsoid? Equation of the ellipsoid is x square by a square plus y square by b square plus z square by c square is 1. So a, b, c here are constants. So you have to find a rectangular box. So you have to find the volume of the largest rectangular box that can fit inside an ellipsoid, and the equation of ellipsoid is given by this equation. Okay. Alright. So let's see. So far we have seen only some function which is a function of two variables x and y. But in this homework problem we see that this is a function of three variables, right? This is x, y and z, and even in this problem we see that it will be a function of three variables x, y, z. So let's see how to do that with the constraint. So if f of x, y, z, if f of x, y, z has to be minimized or maximized given phi of x, y, z is constant, then we need to solve dou f by dou x plus lambda, dou phi by dou x is 0, dou f by dou y plus lambda dou phi by dou x is 0, and dou f by dou z plus lambda dou phi by dou z is 0, and phi of x, y, z is a constant. So these are the four equations. So now we have four equations. So solve four equations to get values of x, y, z and lambda. Okay. There can also be conditions where there can also be problems where there are two conditions. Okay, so we have only so far looked at one constraint. What if there are two constraints? Okay, so if there are two constraints, that is minimize or maximize f of xy given phi 1 of xy is constant 1 and phi 2 of x comma y is constant 2. Okay. So then how will you do it? Then all you have to, then it's just an extension of what we have already studied. So you'll have two lambda values. Okay. So we'll do dou f by dou x plus lambda 1 dou phi 1 by dou x plus lambda 2 dou phi 2 by dou x is 0. And dou f by dou x plus lambda, This is dou f by dou y, right? Plus lambda 1 dou phi 1 by dou y plus lambda 2 dou phi 2 by dou y is 0. Right? And then we have phi 1 of x, y, z. Sorry, there is no z, right? If there is z, then you just extrapolate it that way. Of xy is c1 and phi 2 of xy is c2. Okay, this is how you will do it. So you'll have 4 equations to solve for 4 unknowns, which is x, y, lambda 1 and lambda 2. Right? So use these 4 equations to solve for x, y, lambda 1 and lambda 2. If you have a function which is x, y, z, then you'll have you'll have 3 equations here. Right? You'll have 3 equations because you'll have dou f by dou x, dou f by dou y, dou f by dou z as well. So you'll have 3 equations and then 2 equations for the constraints. So you'll have a total of 5 equations. Okay? So that is how you will do it. So you can extrapolate it like that. If you have 3 constraints, then you will have 3 lambda values. So you can just extrapolate it that way. Okay? So and so on. So let me give you a homework problem. 2 constraints and I would like you to work it out. Find the shortest distance from the origin to the line of intersection of the planes 2x plus y minus z equals 1 and x minus y plus z equals 2. Right? So this is your homework problem. Alright.